What is going on, guys? I'm just going to go ahead and apologize for my voice. I'm just getting over having the flu and completely lost my voice. But I'm going to make this kind of short and simple. This is the new Epiphone Adam Jones that sold out in 21 minutes the other day. And I just happened to see somebody post about it on Facebook that they were released at about 10 a.m. Went to the Guitar Center website, grabbed one. And they are going to make 7 different versions of this guitar. Each one of them has a different piece of art on the back of it. This one, I believe, is by a guy named Mark Ryden. Hopefully I'm saying his name correctly. And the art that's on the back of this one is a piece of art that he did called Veil of Bees, which is a really cool piece of art. The magic question everybody wants to know is, hey, is this thing worth $1,300? I guess it depends on, what you're really comparing it to. I just got through playing this one compared to my old 1979 Les Paul Standard. And I'll be honest with you, it held its weight. It sounds good. It plays good. But the main reason you would want to spend the extra money for one of these is this is a 1970 spec Les Paul Custom. It's got the volute on the back of the headstock, and it's got the same neck angle as, say, a old Norland era Les Paul. So you can't get that on a normal Epiphone. So I would expect to pay a little bit more for this guitar, even if it didn't have this chick on the back of it. So here's the good, the bad, and the ugly. The bad thing is this is your typical Chinese Epiphone. They are not going to set this thing up from the factory at all. It's going to be kind of done by robots or whatever they do. And then when you get it up, you have to set up everything on it. So that really worries me because nobody's really quality checked this guitar. Nobody has really check the playability of this guitar. Hey, this guitar that you're spending $1,200 on, does it actually even play decent? Does it sound good? They pretty much just throw it all together. And that's one scary thing about these Epiphones. When you get them, there's no setup whatsoever. It's just like they just put it together and said, here, figure it out. I will tell you that the lighting in here is not doing this top justice. It's actually a really beautiful aged Silverburst. It's got a Seymour Duncan distortion in the bridge and a ProBucker in the neck that you can see they flipped upside down. Guitar sounds great. But like I said, the quality control, you almost have to worry about it a little bit because this one, when I got it, I couldn't even plug into the jack of it. The inside of the thing was bent. So that tells me that nobody ever even plugged this guitar up to check to even see if it worked, which is kind of a scary thing. So I had to take that jack apart and bend it back a little bit so I could actually plug the guitar up. I have seen a couple people making comments about these tuners. Most of these people that are making these comments don't know anything about nothing. This is the style of tuner that came on a late 70s Gibson Les Paul. This guitar right here is a 1979. It came with the exact same tuners as that. So these idiots that are making comments saying they put cheap tuners on it, you don't even know what you're talking about. In the late 70s, they put a Gibson branded Schaller tuners on it. Not only were the tuners made it by Schaller, the bridges were made by Schaller as well. So, if you go to replace those now, you can put just a Nashville style bridge on it. But yeah, these are actually pretty decent tuners. I played this guitar for about 30 minutes and it stayed in tune great. I have no complaints. Who cares if it says Grover or not on it if the thing stays in tune? I have no complaints whatsoever. Cool artwork on the back of the headstock. Like I said, the really super cool thing about these guitars is they're 1970 specs. They're late 70s Norland era Gibson Les Paul specs. I'll be honest with you, I wish the thing weighed a little bit more. It's a little light for my taste. It's got a cool little chrome switch tip up there. One thing that really irks me is the rhythm treble poker chip is crooked on it. I mean, why couldn't you get that? Why can't you get that straight? You know? After I spent about 30 minutes setting it up and fixing this little, plug-in thing here, the input jack, the thing plays and sounds great. Does it play and sound like a $1,300 guitar? Yes, it does. The quality is there. It's just, it wasn't followed through as far as on the production line. Nobody is really double checking these things. So that really makes me worry. I'm really lucky that I got one that doesn't have any issues. But, the magic question is this thing worth $1,300? Yes, it is. Is there that much of a difference between this and a $800 Epiphone Les Paul Custom? Yeah, it's pretty significant difference. Just with it having all the Norland era specs about it. This is not the same guitar as a $799 Epiphone Les Paul Custom. That Seymour Duncan sounds phenomenal. That's my favorite pickup of all time is the Duncan Distortion. And as far as the way it sounds great. I've seen a lot of people making comments about, well, for that kind of money, I'll just go buy a Gibson. Let me tell you something genius. A $1,300 Gibson is not going to be that much of a quality of a guitar. What are you going to get? You're going to buy a Studio? Or are you going to buy one of these traditional Vs that Gibson sells only to Guitar Center that's made out of junk wood? Instead of them throwing away the wood, they make these cheap Les Pauls out of them so that Guitar Center can sell them. I mean, what are you really going to get for $1,300? You're not going to get a real guitar that's a Gibson for less than, say, $2,400. You might get one on clearance that's about $2,000, for a regular standard. But as far as $1,299, you ain't gonna get nowhere near the specs that this guitar's got. So I just wanted to share my opinion on it. It is a killer guitar. It is awesome. Like I said, they sold out in 21 minutes this first run. They're selling on Reverb right now for like $2,000 to $2,500. I saw one on there for like $4,000. Doesn't mean he's selling it for that, but there are some out there already on the secondary market that are bringing crazy money, and they're great guitars. This thing comes with an awesome chainsaw case. They call it a protector case, but it's basically nothing but a modern day chainsaw case, and it's an awesome case. So if you take in the fact, if you were to buy a case like this, it's $250. You take that off the price of this guitar, you're really paying about $995 for this guitar. And it comes with some awesome specs. As far as the art on the back of it, I could probably live without that if they would have thrown, that money towards some of the spec side of it. But I get they're wanting to do something special with these guitars. So hope everybody enjoyed this video, and I appreciate you putting up with my voice through this video. But is it worth the money? It definitely is. It's an awesome killer guitar. And once you set it up and kind of tweak some things on it and do some things to it that they probably should have done at the factory or some kind of quality control, you got a killer awesome guitar that's worth every bit of the money. But like I said, it's kind of like they spend more money on the specs side of it than the actual setup side of it. So it does have some big frets, and they play great. So there it is, Adam Jones Epiphone. This is kind of the Series 1 Veil of Bees. I guess that's what it's called. Yeah, it's a killer awesome guitar. I love this thing. I'm a big 70s Les Paul nut, and this guitar checks all of the boxes. It is definitely a Norland era style Gibson Les Paul at a cheaper price. So if you got one of these things, enjoy it. See ya.